I'm going to try and put this YouTube video together for removing the headliner out of a 2007 Dodge Ram 1500. Had a water leak in my sunroof that was coming down the passenger side a couple of weeks ago. Needed to figure out how to get the headliner out and repair it, and had a hard time trying to find a video online that was specific to Dodge Rams and the 1500. So I'm going to basically take you through. I've already pulled it out, so I'm basically going to take you through the reverse of basically putting it back together. I've already pushed the headliner back into the truck. The best way I found to pull it out was to take it through the passenger front door, and I was able to do it without taking any of the doors or the seats out. So it actually came up fairly well, dropping the front part down and then slowly maneuvering the front corner, front passenger corner out, and then working around to get the whole front end out, and then pull it out through that front passenger door. So anyway, let's have a look in the truck. For you, those of you who have not looked at your truck without the headliner, you can see we've got essentially 4 drain points in the sunroof. One basically in every corner. My issue was up in that top left-hand corner on the passenger side. That drain was plugged, that drain line. And in addition, I had an issue with the sunroof itself. It wasn't seating properly, so the water was coming in, and I guess eventually it jammed up the drain line with gunk, and it was pouring down through into the passenger front footwell. Anyway, so this is it. I've got as I said, I've got the headliner is back into the truck, and we're going to basically reinstall it. So I'm just going to basically take some footage as I make my way around. You'll see there's Velcro points on the vehicle. So the first thing I'm going to try and do is actually push and get this thing in. And what I'll more than likely end up doing is taking footage along the way and just trying to put it all together after the fact. Everything from a wiring perspective is plug and play. So essentially your wire harnesses are all pretty much plug and play to get out. I think the toughest thing I found was pulling out the 4 points for the 2 points in the back where you hold where you can hang jackets. It's a funky mechanism to basically pull that out, and I'll show you that in a few moments. And then same with the front where the sun visor sits. So I'll keep you kind of up to speed as we go along the way. What I'll show you is all the pieces I ended up taking out to get the headliner out. So essentially we've got all the pillars, essentially the A pillars, B pillars, and then the back corners. We had to basically take out when we took out the B pillars, we're taking out the seatbelt harness. So you have to basically take the seatbelt apart to pull out that B pillar, which is not a big deal. Same within the back. We essentially had to pull out the seatbelt bolts to get the rear pillar out. It's essentially you've got your A pillars, your B pillars, and all the various components in here. The console unit essentially here, and the toughest thing with the console unit is actually 2 pins in the back that hold it in place. So you got 1 screw in the front, and really it's just these 2 pins that need to unclip in the back. So I was afraid to damage this unit, but it actually came out fairly easy once I figured out that it was just these 2 pins holding it in place. Once I'm able to pull this out, it was fairly straightforward. The back rear light was a lot simpler than the front. Basically you just need to pry open the case, and then you're able to easily remove that. The toughest thing I think I mentioned earlier is these doohickeys here. So you've got when these are in place, there's your hook for hanging a jacket or something, and the mechanism essentially you need to separate right at this point right here. So it's basically pulls straight out and essentially opens up or slides this cavity together, so you can actually pull the unit right out of the frame of the truck. So these are in the back. and it's the exact same mechanism when you look at the front where the sun visor goes. So sun visor easily detaches with the 3 screws in the where it mounts, but where it actually connects into this doohickey here, you got the exact same scenario. So just that was probably the toughest thing to pull out without damaging it. Other than that, everything came out fairly easily. Anyway, that was it. I'm going to start to try and sit the headliner back with the Velcro in place, and then slowly we'll start to put different pieces back together. So basically, so far I've been able to put the liner in place. It's just essentially being held right now by those Velcro pieces, and that's it. I've basically put these 2 doohickeys in place, and now I just need to push them to basically close the deal and seal them up. I'm going to hang tight until I put everything fully in place. I've plugged all the internal plugs into the various electrical components, and now I'm basically going to shut off the rear pillars back in place. The first thing I need to do is take off the bolts and hold the seat belts in place. So what I'm going to take is I've got my it's called, I don't know what it's called, basically it's T50. It says by Mastercraft, and star shaped nut remover here. I'm going to take that off and basically see if I can get this pillar in place. And it's basically going to work from the back to the front. So I'm going to put the 2 back pillars in, then I'm going to put the V pillars in the middle here that we see here, and then I'm going to finish it off with the fronts. And hopefully once that's all done, it's all in place, I've got all my plugs hanging out for the big plug back into the sun visors, and I've got lots of components hanging out where the console rolls and the rear lights. Everything is out and ready to be reinstalled, and we're ready to get started. So the back part of the truck's done. Got the both in no problem, and basically I've just kind of hand screwed in the bolts just in case I have to take it back out again for any reason. But for now, all the main components are in. I'll leave the light fixtures in the front and the back probably till last. Main focus right now is just getting all the pillars back in place and hand tightened in place. Now I'm going to work on the B pillars in the middle there. I'll be the next one, then we'll move up to the front. But so far so good. Okay, the B pillars are both in place now. It's pretty painless. There's just one connection that you need to punch in at the top. Snaps in. Then you just basically bolt in the seat belts and the hand grabs. So very simple. So they're both done now, and moving on to the. So we're in the final moments of I guess putting everything back together. The A's have been done in the front. What I decided to do is basically get the sun visors in place, put the console in, and then just finish up with the A-pillar over here. I had everything plugged in. You can't see it too well, but there's the main plug there, and just double checking that all the everything works again. So yeah, on my console everything works. The only thing I haven't checked is the light back there. I haven't put that in yet, but other than that, brake light, everything works so far. And I think the last thing to do is just to fire in that last A-pillar. So other than that, that's pretty much it.